If you guys have been following the Lakers recently, which I'm sure many of you have, because the national media is absolutely obsessed with them, you've probably been seeing headlines like this. LeBron James, 6 dunks versus Rockets keys Lakers' 7th straight win. A lot of talk has been focusing on the Lakers' improved defense, which it has been, and LeBron's sudden willingness to take a backseat in the offense for the first time, which on the surface he has. But is this win streak formula, which just ended in Detroit despite them missing Cade Cunningham, sustainable? Will it work in the playoffs? And is LeBron actually taking a back seat? Well, do I think it's sustainable for the regular season? Certainly. The Lakers roster was obviously an offensive powerhouse from day one, with 2 elite shot creators in Reeves and Luka, a still freight train to the basket in LeBron James, and Marcus Smart, who is still hugely undervalued on this Lakers team due to his numerous late-game blunders and inconsistent three-point shooting. But what he does bring is huge value to the Lakers in being their only plus defender, a high IQ connector of offense, and an actual knowledge of how to work the refs and not just piss them off with incessant complaining like the rest of the Big Three. But the issue from the beginning of the season up until last week was the same. Lack of effort on defense, and a starter getting paid the highest on the team pre-win streak actually hurting the team by advanced metrics. LeBron is getting paid $52.6 million this year, and last year was leading the team to a negative 6.9 rating when he was on the floor, and this year a negative 1.99 rating. Luka and Austin Reeves are actually plus 11.9 when he's off the floor. Now, LeBron's defense, I thought all along he could be great for this team if he dropped to 25 minutes a night, played hard defense in the fourth quarter, and embraced the dunker spot. But he and Luka are taking up so much of the salary cap, and LeBron convinced the Lakers to trade away all their picks for the Russell Westbrook disaster. The Lakers' offseason wasn't great. I would argue getting the second most talented but most mentally weak center in the league in DeAndre Ayton. So LeBron was either asked to or expected to play too many minutes again, and as has been his increasing MO the last few years, he completely coasts for more than half the games, especially ones against good teams where he knows it would be hard to put up good stats, and was often getting half his points a night off cherry picking. This was leaving the Lakers' transition defense in shambles, as while Austin Reeves gets unfairly bashed for his defense, his strength is help defense, but his weakness is on ball and transition defense. So now with LeBron cherry picking and Luka arguing calls, it was often the mentally frustrated DeAndre Ayton and whichever hapless role player like Rui Jake or Marcus Smart were left playing 2v5s. JJ Redick clearly knew what the problem was, but also clearly will never criticize LeBron or Luka in the media. The closest he ever got stating, defense is a choice, it's a choice, and it's the same people not making that choice. So personally, while many people bash Nico Harrison for trading Luka, I really don't. What I criticized him for was trading for Anthony Davis. His thought process was Anthony Davis and Kyrie will lead us to a championship. On paper, I would agree with him, but those two guys leading and staying healthy? No way. Although major props to Kyrie for, in my opinion, having the biggest maturity growth of any modern player in the league from rookie year to now. But I digress. If Nico Harrison had traded Luka for a trade like Sam Presti did for Paul George, to get an up-and-coming player like Shea and multiple first-round draft picks, I would have been a little bit more behind it, and I think pretty much any team in the league would have done it. So a lot of you guys are going to say I'm crazy for that, but let me get to Luka. As we've documented, LeBron has his issues, but during this win streak, we've all noticed LeBron taking less shots and focusing more on higher percentage dunks and layups and passing the ball instead of jacking up bad threes. Can Luka lead this quote-unquote new LeBron on a deep playoff run? If you look purely at statistics, absolutely. The man is averaging well over 30, recently dropped 60 against the second best player of all time in Bam Adebayo, and is also playing a bit better defense. The Lakers went from in the mud with the upstart Phoenix Suns fighting for the 6th seed to now fighting for the 3rd seed behind 2 clear Western Finals contenders in the Thunder and Spurs. To me, Shea looks locked in and Wemby looks locked in. But for both of the rest of their rosters, things don't quite look championship level yet. But the potential for both to get to that level in the last few weeks of the season is likely, with Jalen Williams obviously being the biggest wild card. But has the Lakers' win streak in quote-unquote new LeBron and playing more defense put them in that tier with those teams and the Celtics and Pistons? I would argue no, and Luka to me is the main problem. People always bring up his championship run with the Mavericks versus the Celtics. To me, the Thunder, Nuggets, and Spurs are elite teams that he will have to get through. The year that they went to the finals, Phoenix was imploding, the Timberwolves got overconfident and fell apart, and I just don't see those teams on the level of the elite teams in the West this year. Luka also got limited in multiple games versus the Celtics in the finals, who in my opinion would have lost to any top 4 teams in the league this year. Luka has 4 weaknesses in the playoffs in a league where good coaches will constantly exploit your weaknesses. He's extremely streaky and has bad shot selection from the perimeter. He isn't a great defender, he turns the refs against his team, and his fitness isn't championship level. Individually, each of those can be overcome. Other than perhaps Michael Jordan, no players really had 0 weaknesses. But in my opinion, there are just too many. Now he has so many strengths that he can always carry a team for long stretches. But if he doesn't improve some of these or change his ways, I don't see them getting past the second round. Now the crazy thing is, I think he can solve almost all those without really having to quote-unquote get in the lab during the offseason. I think really JJ Redick just yells at the role players and doesn't hold LeBron or Luka accountable whatsoever if you actually watch the games and press conferences. Michael Jordan and Kobe constantly had to be reined in by Phil Jackson on shot selection and shot volume, with both happy to run as many ISOs as possible, allowing teams to double and triple team them in the playoffs. Where both began to win championships is where they dropped their shot volume and let their teammates hit open shots, gain confidence, and most importantly, save their legs for defense and the fourth quarter. This is where Luka can become the type of players the Lakers envision. Drop the shot totals and the usage rate to 18 to 22 shots a game, down from often 27 to 30. Austin Reeves would be an elite second option for most teams in the league. Trust him to take more shots and have him run more offense. Learn to play off the ball or post up more. Luka is actually very good in the post. This will save Luka's legs big time for the end of games. If the Lakers don't change, Luka will once again be worn down in the fourth quarters in the playoffs, and the Lakers will lose to younger and more athletic teams like the Spurs and Thunder. Quick side note about Austin Reeves as well. He is still deferring like crazy to Luka at the end of games, despite Luka being often double teamed. Austin Reeves is just as good if not better as a closer than Luka, and he needs to stop deferring so much. So in the end, is LeBron really a new humble man, and can the Lakers make a deep playoff run with this new LeBron? No, I don't believe LeBron has had some seen the light moment, but I do think he's smart enough to realize that a championship for him this season will be a crazy glaze in the media about him catching Jordan. So he's off his records and statistics chases and is willing to try this new offensive mentality. I do think they can make a deep playoff run with this team, but only if Luka takes less shots and saves his legs for fourth quarters in defense. Will JJ Redick call him out and make this change? Will LeBron stay humble in his role? I don't think either will happen, and the Lakers will probably lose in the second round to the Spurs or Thunder. But hey, maybe Luka will surprise us. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate the support. Shout out my boy Dylan Analysis for contributing on this video. If you guys like his content, go and subscribe to his channel. And again, YouTube doesn't send videos to subscribers that often unless the topic perfectly matches your algorithm. So please consider supporting as a member. Thanks again, guys. Peace.
Luka is a huge problem. A huge problem. More often, complains to the referee, and when he does, he leaves the Lakers playing 4-on-5. Not just for like one play, for like multiple possessions, for dead balls. 1 or 2 possessions later, he's still talking to the referees.
Guess what? You know how LeBron is not going to get in a time machine and become 30 again? Luka Doncic is never going to be a great defensive player. Luka Doncic is probably never going to stop arguing with referees, and Luka Doncic is never going to put in the effort and energy on defense that he does on offense.
That is a truly sad indictment. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but like that's...
it's just the truth. What would you do?
I think actions would speak louder than words. Yeah.
You just bench him every time he talks to the refs.
But if you saw
Good luck.
He gets cooked on the defensive end by Kevin Durant, whatever. That's going to happen. But it's when he gets consumed by the referees that kills the Lakers. It kills them. And that is where I would have to take that strong stand, where if you see it happen one too many times during a game, yank him out of there.